34.
Right. Let me pull up the agenda again.
Nominate Mr. Reed to be chairman.
I second the motion.
Thank you.
All in
Sorry.
favor for Mr. Reed to be chairman?
Aye.
Well, do you accept
Aye.
the nomination?
Aye.
Ah, there you go.
The latest one, you gotta.
Do you have another pencil?
Yep, I have a bunch.
My pencil doesn't have any lead in it. Sorry to lambaste you.
It's all right, it's what I get for being late, you know?
There you go. All right, in the name of time and doing the highest priority on our agenda, I am suggesting to the chair that we skip the update for this meeting. I will update us on previous capital improvement items at the next meeting. But for the long and short of it, we're purchasing everything we said we would purchase.
Okay.
Travis,
Yep.
Travis got his
That's
truck
fine.
2 days ago,
For the
Oh, he
price.
just got it?
For the price we said?
for the price we said.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah, cause the GM strike ended up, he had a recall on it, and then when they were on strike, he couldn't get it, so we waited a couple more months than he wanted to.
He ended up getting a GM, huh?
He had a Ford, but I don't know why, that, it had something to do with it. He's got a F-250. Alright, does anyone have any questions on the priority form that I had sent out? The different numbers are just indicative of different priorities. As I told your colleagues before, if there is anything you think that doesn't necessarily line up, mention it, because we can change it, because I made this whole form up. So I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same boat with you as members of the committee versus everyone just kind of going, oh yeah, that sounds right, and it getting lost in the shuffle. After we fill out these forms, I will take them all, make a master form, and we'll go over that form at the next meeting. If anyone has any questions, they will be answered, or the department head will be brought in at that time. But for now, I figured we would just do a review of it all relatively quickly, because we have about 30 minutes. And we can fill out these forms to the best of our ability. If we do not finish in the next half hour, we can schedule another meeting.
Okay.
So quick question on this here, the capital improvement project rating form that you have here, that was not available to the individuals that when they submitted their applications. So I'm asking because if we ask ourselves the question, we might not necessarily have information within the application that answers some of these questions. Case in point is, does a project need to comply with local, state, and federal law? May not necessarily be there.
I will likely be able to answer most of those questions. And if not, we can bring them in.
Okay.
Alright, project number 1 is additional road work. It has been funded, you gotta pull a little tab off the pen, they're brand new. And you can just, instead of writing your names, you can put your initials at the top and I'll know. Department is DPW. Total scores I can add up later. This is the, I believe, 3rd, if not 4th year that this is on the capital improvement plan wish list. It is very drastically needed to keep up with the roads plan, the 5-year roads plan that I had attached to that document, because many of the projects that are lower are dependent on this additional money. Should we receive additional money like we intend to this year through the additional Chapter 90 for Rural Road Miles program, which has not fully been unveiled yet, we would simply do more projects and push things down the list. There is, it's, as you all know, roads are hard because you get about 15 years out of them, and by the time we would get done completing the whole list, it's time to redo it. So it's a project that we're never going to complete. There are a couple of squeaky wheels. Dogwood North came to a meeting of the select board a little while ago to ask about their placement on the 5-year plan. Travis from the DPW did explain the need for additional Chapter 90 money, the need to continue supporting this funding in the capital plan, and the need for even more money on top of that, and the formula that gets us there. So that is about that. Does anyone have any immediate questions there?
So if we fund it, what does that do? I saw it's projected, I think, Dogwood is projected, what, 27?
Yes.
What is that going to do? Is that going to move any projects?
No,
Or-
so the 5-year plan as outlined in the document that I sent you is taking into consideration the receipt of the $100,000.
Okay,
I think Travis is just writing it and keeping his fingers crossed. Where we are now, this, from my point of view, is a pertinent continued investment. As, well, knock on wood, I hope they don't, but if things continue down the path that they are with the schools and the rising costs of literally everything and inflation, then maybe one day we won't be able to fund this at 100%. But it is my hope that we would see to funding it again this year.
I'll ask a dumb question here, but one of the things that he did mention during the call that we had is that he doesn't have enough money to just even keep the roads that have been more recently been kept up or have been, not kept up, but have been actually worked on to actually keep them up. And so I guess the question I would ask to Travis on this here, is it not better for him to rely on this additional funding to do upkeep of existing roads so that they do not fall into into a faster disrepair? And how much would $100,000 buy him? And what I'm trying to say here is that he's constantly been complaining about the fact that he's not with the existing Chapter 90 money able to ever manage to maintain the roads and increase their longevity. And so whether or not he has thought about utilizing this money as, not as a capital improvement, but as I would almost consider this here as a preservation of the investments that has been done. If you get my meaning.
Yeah, I wrote it on the back of the sheet. That's what I'll do with the questions that I don't have the answer to, so that at our
Okay.
next meeting I can get,
So I'd like to know what $100,000 buys him,
yeah.
okay? Thank you.
Yeah. But there's a prime example of this over on next year. $100,000 will buy him reclaiming with emulsion and pavement 3 inches of hot mix on all of Elm Street. So,
That's a reconstruction. Reclaiming with hot mix,
yeah.
more than kind of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Francois was talking about crack sealing and
Exactly.
Edge
I'm talking about really
protection.
truly something different. This is
Yeah.
really crack sealing, going up the roads, and sometimes what they do is they put like a tar mix on top of it, which again preserves the road for a longer period of time. It's just to keep the roads that are in fairly decent shape and just extend their lifetime even further.
Alright, any other questions? how did we wanna do this? Did we wanna do these priority sheets today, or just go through and we'll do them, we'll give you a bunch of them, you can send them back in, or?
I
what's
think
the-
it'll be faster if we do them independently and
Okay.
just keep rolling through the meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
so you filled them out now? That's what you said? Or you're gonna do them outside of here and get them back
But
to me?
outside the meeting, we'll fill them out.
Alright.
That's what you meant, right?
That's what I meant.
Alright, then that's what we'll do. Alright.
I can scan and email them to you easily.
Love it. The next project from this year's project list is the Chief's Cruiser at $76,000. The Chief's current vehicle is a 2016 Chevy Impala sedan. It is getting older and accumulating high mileage. The trade-in value decreases while maintenance costs rise. He has trouble in the winter. Of the two vehicles that are on the police request list, this is the second highest priority. So,
So he has trouble in the winter because of, it's not all-wheel drive, is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Does he run snow tires?
yes. Yep, so that's kinda, it is what it is. It would be a Chevy Tahoe for the chief. And you can see there's a whole form from Liberty Chevrolet on there that outlines what would go into that purchase. Did I skip one?
get a clarification, what year is the existing,
16.
Chief's car?
2016,
How many miles, do you know?
2016?
yeah.
7 years old.
And how much does he really use it? That's our next question, because my understanding is the chief is an individual who has mostly an internal job, right? Or is he out there a lot?
He's out there
What's-
quite a bit. A small town rural chief and a big city administrative chief are very different roles. So Ryan is out there quite a bit. He also, as part of his contract, has the ability to drive the car home and to places that are necessary to do his job.
I get it, right. Does it have to be this, I mean, the car he has at this point in time, you say is a, what is it, a sedan?
Chevy Impala,
It's an
right.
Impala, so yes, a sedan.
Yeah. And so the question I would ask is why does he need this type of a vehicle?
He's also within the application or submittal did mention that he has trouble getting here in the sedan during winter events. And there are times when he would need to get here during a significant winter event. Is that the 100% fact, or is that indicated in there to justify the purchase of a larger vehicle? I can't speak to that, but
We're talking higher maintenance cost
you're talking
With the-
higher
Yeah.
maintenance costs.
and fuel, higher fuel. Where does he live?
Ryan Templeton.
Templeton, okay.
Alright, up next is library heat pumps. I got a quote of about $213,000. This is a,
213?
yeah, cause they need to upgrade the panel. This is my Green Communities application as well. So this is something that if considered and we did not receive the Green Communities funding for the project, it may have to go in the later years of the plan. But if we can receive the full competitive grant funding for Green Communities, the library board of trustees has already committed to putting in $12,000 to $13,000 to get us to complete funding.
And I apologize, I just wanna make sure I understand, we're talking about you submitting a green funding for 200,000?
Already did, yep, I submitted it a few weeks back. It's for.
When do you expect to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's for $300 and something thousand, and it would do the heat pumps and electrical upgrades at the library and a stage 2 weatherization at the Hubbardson Center School. I'm anticipating hearing back pre-February.
And
And that would mean that the $200,000 would not be required?
Yep, it would fall off.
so as an alternative, not to go green, what would it cost to update the current heating system, where we wouldn't have to upgrade the electric?
Considerably more than $200,000.
Seriously?
Yep.
The problem with the heat pump is they don't work in really, really cold temperatures, so you have to have a backup anyway, so you probably keep the existing system.
They are gonna keep the existing
Yeah.
system.
Right, yeah, that's what I remember they said, but what's the cost to maintain that too?
Same as it costs now. You know,
Yeah, I know, but it's getting older and older, that's the
Exactly.
only concern.
Or you run electric.
Yeah,
Okay. And I know there's also some talk about the school requiring a new boiler too, right?
I have the bid for a boiler at the school out right now. It's due on the 21st, and we had a site walk earlier today at 10 o'clock. I had about 5 interested parties.
Oh, good.
This gets even messier though, because as a brand new squeaky clean town administrator, like 2 or 3 weeks in, the school came to me and said, oh, we need a boiler over there within the next couple of years. He gave me a quote. I took it for gospel, excuse my French, but then went to town meeting, asked for $50,000 because that's what it said on the quote. My first quote from Omnia Cooperative, which is a cooperative that does purchasing, was $214,000. The gentleman that came earlier today had noted that it wouldn't be anywhere near that high, but it also likely wouldn't be $50,000. So for the boiler at the school, we may need to do some additional trips to the well.
Okay. All right. May I ask, sort of, and Bill, you may have some insights into this here, and I'm gonna add a little bit of a kink into this here. I saw what was written in here, and I think it's all very good, and we definitely should be looking at these here because of the savings that are entailed here. My question here is are there opportunities for us to start looking into not just heat pumps, but is the potential for doing a geothermal system that is basically capable of providing heat not only for the library, but the school and potentially even, you know, the town hall together? Is that something that could be maybe looked at a very gross level and determined how much that would be?
It would be very gross.
Go ahead.
It would be very gross.
Yeah.
Like, but it's 100% something we could look at, but
Yeah.
the funding would be astronomical.
But what are we talking about? Are we talking about a 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, 100x?
Probably a 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and are there potential grants for this here? That's why I'm going with this here. And the reason I'm asking is because I believe and I understand that those systems have a much, much longer potential lifespan, and that's something to keep in
Oh, and they're
mind.
far more efficient. I mean, they work, because they're
Yeah.
below the frost line, they work no matter what the weather is, and they heat and they
Exactly.
cool. Yeah.
Exactly, and we
But-
don't have this whole issue about it's too cold outside, so we have to now have an additional boiler.
But the issue with those, Francois, is land area. You have to
That's
have
why
a
I'm thinking
dedicated,
that our school might be a very good, I mean, the unification of both the school, and everything else that we have, would that not be a potential win-win situation?
well, you
in the
either
rural
need,
area?
you either need horizontal land area, which is to say a big field, that you can bury hundreds of feet of pipe, or you need vertical, which is to drill down, and I don't know where ledge is here, but you can't put it on ledge. But you
Yeah, I
can
was
put it
thinking
in
more of the
ground.
vertical. I mean, I understand we don't have big fields here that we could potentially leverage for this here. Again, I don't wanna go down a rat's hole right now, but I certainly want to keep that in perspective.
I have to
and-
reach out to my Green Communities rep in the next couple days. I'll
Yeah.
float it by her. I'm sure it's something everyone is sort of mentioning because it is picking up speed in terms of popularity, but I'm not 100% sure of the rebates that they're having for that at this time or what it would do to our cost. And it would
I
definitely.
get it. It may be premature for us, given the fact of where we need to be, but I just wanna throw it out. I do know there's a big project from, I think it's Eversource that it's in Framingham that's come in to play. That's why I bring it up. And I've been trying to find if there's any school systems that are interested in pursuing this here. I haven't had much time or luck yet to find anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if that might be a very good way for us to at least explore opportunities. Go ahead, sorry.
I know that the Northfield Senior Center did geothermal. About 4
Yeah.
years ago.
How progressive of
Sorry
her.
about this.
But if we
Okay.
had a public safety facility, if by chance it was located on a sand and gravel site, geothermal would be very efficient. With solar on the field.
Right.
Alright.
Next.
Up next is the town IT maintenance. This is a complete need as it is some of our only funding for actual hardware. This year we purchased a server for the police department, a couple of desktops, a mobile device, and a firewall.
Department does that fall under?
Me. Yep. Next year, as looking at it, we would look at a town hall server, 5 laptops, and 4 desktops over at the police department. That's 23,700. The fire chief is looking for a utility pickup truck. The funding would cover the replacement of a 2007 F-250 pickup truck. This is a multi-use vehicle. The vehicle is used for daily department operation. It is used by on-duty staff to go between Station 1 and 2 when needed. It is used to pick up equipment and hose after larger events such as structure fires. In the winter months it can be used to plow water hoses, fire stations, police station, and to assist the DPW with larger snowstorms. The vehicle has been stored outside due to lack of space in the station, and constant exposure to the weather over the years has caused heavy rusting. He has a quote at $65,464
For
Yep.
F-250?
for an F-250.
Did we buy them, I thought we bought them a utility truck a couple of years, not that we bought them, but we
Yeah.
approved one a couple of years ago.
I wanna say that it did. We'll have to look back into that, but I know
Yeah.
that the year before I got here, so 2 years ago, maybe almost 3, a truck went down to the DPW because the fire department got a new utility truck.
Okay, so then the question is what's, cause based on my memory, they use that to plow. And they were using that to plow as, you know, to help too, so now they're saying they need 2 trucks to help plow the DPW, with the DPW,
I think they've always had 2, but it was a rotating 2.
okay.
So now what they have, and I could get the chief to clarify in a future meeting, is they have the one that was purchased a few years ago and this one that was from 2007. So now they would flip it
Okay.
over. Up next is a vault organization records project for the office of the town clerk. I did this in Princeton, and it helped with optimization of space. It helped with fire protectivity in the vault, and overall it just gave the clerk's office an understanding of what was actually there, what they needed to keep, what they needed to dispose of, and what needed to get record. The King Information Systems is one of the only companies that does this type of project, so they have a sole proprietor agreement with businesses in the state, so that would be them. I am currently working with them because you need to provide them money to come and give you the quote. So we're gonna be doing a 1-day quote with them in the next couple of months, so this number will sure up. But that's something with the absolute turnover and our commitment to Laserfiche and public transparency of documents, this would be the first step towards that. Any questions?
That's the existing vault in the library?
Yep.
Is that transferable? Should we build something else?
Yeah.
The system is transferable?
Yeah. It's boxes on a metal frame. I don't know where it went, but there is another cruiser in here at $75,000. It is a every other year request on the capital improvement plan, and this is a year. I believe we did it 2 years ago. Got the Tahoe, didn't get one last year. I think Chief had mentioned that he would prefer seeing maybe like a 1-1 none, 1-1 none type of deal, but for now we have every other planned in there, so we will see. That is something that is needed for the obvious reasons. Our cruisers end up racking up the mileage just because of the nature of the job.
So they bought one, we funded it 2 years ago, they bought it a year ago.
Yep.
Okay.
So now they're hoping to buy one next year, so that there's always
Yep.
Now back to an old.
Can we, back up?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. EGAT. Have they, what is the success with the current Tahoe? In other words, we went with the Tahoe saying it was gonna be more efficient,
Yeah.
less maintenance, more helpful, more durable than the Ford. I'd like the chief to answer that question.
From my perspective, besides the time they slid it down a hill, it's been pretty effective.
Okay, besides that.
No, but I can have the chief answer that. Effectiveness.
Why this versus the Ford? We know that, I know that the town of Westminster loves their Chevys. But other departments are still stuck on the Ford. Holden, for example, still loves their Fords. And they're getting hybrids.
Mhm.
Holden getting hybrids?
Everybody's getting hybrids.
A lot of people have hybrid policies
Yeah.
at this point. I don't know how far that would go in this community, but
We just designed a police station and built into the infrastructure is 100% fast recharge station for a 100% electric cruiser.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
luck with that.
They go fast.
Yeah, I've heard there's quite a few state electric vehicles that just sit unused.
Alright, from last year's, there was an engine 2 replacement. The department capital plan had engine 2 replacement moved to FY '24, and we requested ARPA funding for this. The department made a request for ARPA and received an updated quote for the replacement cost of $801,000. Previous amount quoted for this replacement was $550,000, so it's going up a lot. I have spoken with Chief Hayes about the possibilities of used vehicles, but because of our public safety building situation, we are limited on what we can get to size.
Yep.
So. The Main Street fire repaving, check. So fortunately, I was able to speak with MassDOT while they were out in front of the fire department a couple weeks ago, and Sometimes when you ask, they say yes, so they dropped and did the pavement, and they did right in front of the police department as well, because there were several tripping hazards. So that is now off the list. This is a brush mower replacement for Travis, for the DPW, should stop using their first names, at $188,500.
Yeah, actually, combinate brush mower tractor.
Yeah, it would replace a 1997. That's it.
Yep.
You're good at time management.
Yeah.
That's number.
What year is this?
This year, 1997. And then these are all projects you guys know about. Sandaberry requesting fixes to the skate park. You've heard about it before, we can speak about it again. DPW, new trench box, a little under $10,000. That was something you heard about last year. Please fill out priority sheets for all the old projects as well. Travis, a replacement to his '09 Sterling, which would be $248,658.
$249,658.
$248,658. I'll resend you this email so you don't have to go looking for it again too.
I remember when he bought that truck.
Travis likes backup.
Freightliner.
Yeah. And I'll go through and create more documentation for you between now and the next meeting. There's a sideways picture of it.
How much was the trench box?
9,700, 9,500, under 10,000.
Cause that's a safety item.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a safety item.
And they have none at this point in time, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
This I already did on my own.
But most of my contractors rent them because they find that's far more efficient, having it delivered, dropped off, picked up and hauled away.
Yeah. Could be something.
And what's the cost of that?
It's maybe $75 a day plus $150 drop off and pick up.
And we can ask
Okay.
that about
We should be able to do a quick math on that. I think the only question we need to ask Travis on that is how often is that used?
Yeah, cause I mean, wear and tear, it just sits in the yard and rusts for the most part. And when you rent
Exactly.
them,
I mean, that's exactly where we need to go back and say, look, it makes sense for us, but from a safety perspective, but does it make better sense to just rent it?
yeah, you get new, near new every time.
Up next is a new Gas Boy fuel management system.
Oh boy.
Didn't we do one of those? For some reason, this one sticks to my mind as we having done something for this, or maybe it was just something that showed up.
This has been on your capital request list for 3 or 4 years at this time.
But not acted on, right?
No, but not acted on. It was scheduled for FY25 for a little while now. I think this
Gotcha.
was requested the first year Ryan had implemented this process.
who uses this here other than the DPW? Does the fire department and police
police,
also use it,
fire.
or just them and the DPW?
Yep, that's what the gas boy fuel system does, is it budgets out who's using what. So you go in, you type in your number, or you swipe your card, and it allocates who used what for proper budgeting.
Okay, and then a report is sent out to who?
Travis then to finance. Travis manages gas for the municipality,
Okay,
and the gas boy breaks down who uses what.
is it gas boy for both gasoline as well as diesel, or only for gasoline?
I will have to get back to you.
So I'm assuming that we do both gasoline as well as diesel.
We
Well,
have
both.
diesel and gas tanks, so I'd imagine that would be the case, that it would use both. Just a picture of it, so fancy robot.
Looks like an ATM to me.
Yeah. This is the Sterling replacement. Sando, I doubled some of this. That's it.
Okay.
I will send out
How
more.
much is the gas, how much is the gas one?
That was 15-ish.
13.5. I'll clean up this document and send it back out this week.
Okay.
Move to adjourn, cause I gotta go.
Thank you.
Thank you, first of all.
Sorry, guys.
I'll make our meeting later next time.
Right. If this, Nate, you still there?
Yeah.
So if this meeting takes place after the 12th, I'm not gonna be able to make it.
After the 12th.
Do we wanna book something now then?
Well, the now would have to be for us to take a look at sometime in January, and I'm telling you right now that from my January perspective, it would have to be after the week of, sometime from the week of the 15th onward. And I don't know if that's gonna be sufficient time for you guys, because,
January 15th?
This is tough. I was hoping to have a bow on this by January 15th.
I'm not gonna be back until the
Yeah.
12th.
We can't,
January.
how about Monday the 11th,
What do you mean Monday the 11th?
December 11th?
Oh, this December 11th, okay.
If
If we can get our, yeah, I guess we could do it that point in time.
I could try my hardest to get ducks in a row, we could prioritize, discuss, that would give me a month to make something to propose to you. Then upon return, we could meet, make changes, and call it a day.
Yeah, I mean, I would, as I said, I'm not going to be available until I arrive back, which is January January the 12th, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
So the first time I can again meet would be after the 5th, once, the 15th comes about, which is a Monday. January 15th of 2024.
Monday at
That is-
6, and I'll try to kick through what I can.
Okay.
Do Monday at 6, or do you have a night meeting that evening?
I don't. Have
I do not.
So.
I mean, 5 o'clock works for me, typically, usually 4 works, but I got pulled into work to do some work today.
No problem. Even if it's not,
5 is better than 4. 4,
Right.
4 doesn't work anymore.
so you wanna do 5 or 5:30, whatever works. Do you guys eat before this, or at 5?
5.
Monday at 5. Let me make sure I don't have another meeting. If you guys could, even if it's not on my sheet, if you could send a rough rundown of your priorities, I can then pull them all together for Monday. If we could get that done by end of business Thursday, could,
I will try.
we're acting very fast. We don't have to act this fast. I just know that without Francois, we don't have a quorum.
Maybe we can fix that.
That's why I mentioned it.
Maybe we can fix that.
Maybe we can fix that. Do you have any friends that wanna join the capital improvement committee?
They already did. No. Friends and neighbors. No. But we will search.
Yeah, I've been asking people too, but
Alright, perfect.
thank you.
Let's say Monday at 6, I'll send an email tomorrow. Monday at 5. Yeah.
Nate,
Bye, Francois.
Nate, I'm gonna give you a call, or give me a call when you're, if you're around for a few more minutes. I had a couple of quick items.
Okay,
Thank you.
Francois, give me.
Thank you.
Give me 15 minutes, cause I wanna start heading home and I'll call you when I get to service.
Sure. We'll talk, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Who's keeping notes? Are you, I saw you writing down minutes.
I can put something together.
Well, because we had, last year Sandy was doing it.
Yeah, I can do it, I have no
No,
problem.
but I'm just saying, she did it and we approved them. And then we
They
got
never found their way anywhere.
we never got the, then we got the request for looking for it, and I was saying, Sandy had them, we approved them, that was the last I saw of them, so.
I'll look back through that. So we should deal with that now, so that it's not an issue later. Alright. I'll look for that, cause I have all those emails. That's right when I started coming around, so I'm pretty sure I have everything in my email if I go back far enough. Perfect.
Okay.
Alright, thank you very much. I'm
Alright.
sorry, had
No.
to